Hello, this is Survival-gyver, and today I'm going to be showing you a little something different. This is my fix, repair, or modify kit. Now this one's specifically for if you're sheltering in place, in order to be able to repair clothing, some furniture, leather stuff, leather gear, shoes, bedding, all sorts of things on that nature. Because if you're sheltering in place, eventually things are going to wear out. So you can fix it, which is, now fix and repair go hand in hand for most people, but I see it differently. Fix is temporary. Like if you got a flat tire on your car, right, you're going to go fix it. Trying to get the light glare out of there, but I can't do much about that at the moment. So if you're going to fix something like a tire that you got a flat on, it's a temporary job until you can get to a shop to repair it correctly. So fix is temporary, repair is permanent. What's modify? Modify is whatever you need to do. Whether, say if you need to add some grommets to a set of gloves so you can hang them off your gear easier, or adjust pants because either they don't fit because they're too small or too big, or you want to add a zipper to something that didn't have a zipper. So that's what this kit's about. Now this is not an end-all be-all kind of kit. This is just something that I have just in case. It gets used quite often. So this is two-sided. This is a Plano fishing box. Plano double-sided satchel. That's what they call it. It's for mostly fishing. It works really well for things of this nature. So let me show you what's on this side. This is mostly the fix and repair side, and you can modify with this as well, but let me show you what's in here. So especially if you're sheltering in place or you want to keep your gear going for a long time. Let's see if I get a little bit better light in here. There we go. All right. So you're going to say, well, it's a sewing kit. Most of it is. But I can add grommets to things and zippers, as I said earlier. So everybody should know how to sew a button. Somebody should know how to fix curtains when your dog decides to eat the bottom of it or shred it. Or take out some space in pants. So you should know how to do that. But then again, you could also fix carpet. You can fix all sorts of things. So let me show you what's in here. These two tools are specific to leatherworking. For me anyway. The two kinds of awls. And they have little, see if I get this to focus. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's just a regular awl. Just a straight point. It's protected on it because I will stab myself if I'm not careful. And this one, see, it has the hole in it. Now this is for when you do a lot of leather work, when the threads are really thick. So fixing shoes, fixing a bag, adding a pocket to a bag that didn't have it, making yourself like a workman schmuck kind of thing. You have lots of options. So that's what that is. Next is this weird little disc in this plastic container. This is wax. Well, that's all it is wax. So sometimes, depending on what you're working with, especially with canvas, you want to try to keep everything as waterproof as possible. You can, or also to make it to go through the fabric easier, you put your thread through this and down through the wax, and it'll pick up the wax as you go. So it'll lubricate the thread a little bit easier to get through some of the harder materials, and it gives a little bit of waterproofing in the process. That's all that is. On this one I have some cutting instruments. I like to keep my stuff clean. So this is just in a little container here. That's all it is. You can use it. They typically use these for pruning, but they work really well for threads. Something nice and easy. And they're cheap. You can get these. You can get like a dozen of these for really, really cheap if you wanted to. I also like these that they have replaceable blades if I needed to. Now the one on the inside is a little interesting. This thing here is a CountyCom product. Actually, it's made by derma-safe.com. Let's see if I can get this so you can see it better. There it is. I checked with their website. You can buy them in packs of 1,000 for a lot more money than I want to spend for a razor blade. But sometimes you just need a quick way of cutting something. And that is just a straight razor blade. It's not replaceable per se. I mean, you could always tap this, drill that out, or knock it out and put your own kind of blade in there. But works really well when you need to cut thread. Actually, for the most part, just put it right through a little notch there and just guillotine it. That'll work well too. So I'll put a link in the description from countycom.com on these. They come in various colors. I have a couple of green ones. Literally mean a couple of green ones. Here's the other one that I keep at my desk. I like the bright colors because they're easy to find. Now this center section's got a bunch of weird things in it. This blue thing and this white thing are chalk for marking out, cuts and lines in fabric. So if you're a real seamstress or somebody that does a lot of this work, fabric making, product making, you probably know these are set for different things. Sometimes it's just different materials. I use it just to keep track of what I'm working on. Pretty much write a little plan for myself. So I don't have an actual use for them other than for marking fabric, and I use the lighter one for darker fabrics, the darker one for lighter fabrics. Now these things here are all to protect your fingers, like sorry, drew a blank there for a moment. It's a thimble. A little plastic one, a little metal one, and these are leather. So I got two different ones, pretty much for index finger and thumb, or any other fingers you need. This is for usually doing with leather, so you don't stab yourself with one of the awls. Going into here, we have threads. Now these are mostly basic clothing threads, except for two. This one and the green one. So I'm going to put them to the side for a moment. These are all regular colored excuse me, sewing threads, and these kind of bobbins, and the smaller ones of various colors. And that's it. That's just, if you're sewing buttons on or something of that nature. These two are different. Now I'll show you why. This large green one, you'll see it's really thick. This is actually fishing line. This is a nylon fishing line. It's a bright green color. It's got 130 pound test line. Why is it in there? Well, actually, I use it to fix or completely repair some things that I need to make sure stay waterproof. So this way the thread doesn't accept any water, and it stays nice and strong, like the straps on top of backpacks. And I like the color, but that works out well. And then this one, with the strange looking bobbin, this is Dyneema. Another product from CountyCom, and it normally sits in that tiny little floss container, which I showed in a prior video. I have a couple of these. So this is Dyneema. Really thin, really strong. This is actually I think I believe it's 45 pound test or 35 pound test. I forget which. So I'll leave a link in the description so you can see exactly what it is. So for those special Dyneema bags that you may have, or some special, if you need a really lightweight, water-resistant thread, you can get it to focus. There we go. That's what that is. So always keep a little extra in the kit, just in case. Now here comes some of the more interesting stuff. These two are just all fabric, white and black. Those are the two common ones I go through the most. These are considered heavy duty. I consider it like a medium duty. But on these packages they said heavy duty. So buttons, ties, shirts, pants. So there's just a larger quantity of those. The other two are not. Obviously, you may notice I like the color gray. These are zoologies. I have a price on them, but I think that's specific to where they come from. Excuse me. Come on. Show up. There you go. Zoology brand. This is for buttons and carpet. So it's a stronger thread. And I find that gray disappears really well in a lot of the carpets that I have around here. And some of the canvas bags I have, it works out really well as well. Now, this big silver one is also zoology. And links will be in the description to them. Okay, so this is zoology, extra strong upholstery. So sofas, some of the pillows on there, cloth canvas chairs. It's just another really strong thread. You know, you don't have to have a lot of it if you don't do much of it. But this was the only size that I was able to get. And for the price, it wasn't bad. Actually, it says $3.99 on the top. I think I paid $1.29 for it when it was on sale from Hobby Lobby. Now these, you'll notice, have this plastic sleeve on them. And these are really thick. Let's see if I can, there we go. It's a lot thicker than a regular thread. This is waxed thread for leather. So that's all what these are. So I got the silver, brown, gray, white, black, a couple of versions of brown, and tan. These are all for leather. They're all pre-waxed, so I don't have to put them through this. And they're all ready to go. But they sometimes tend to stick to each other a little bit, so I put, a lot of times they'll come with a plastic sleeve on it. I just leave it on there. And that's it. So that's what the other is. These are extra, just little clear bobbins. Kind of like the same one I used to put the green one together with. It's always good to have a couple extra floating around because sometimes you break them. Or you have another kind of material. Maybe you want to do, I don't know, maybe something like jute twine. Something different. You can make your own. Make your own sewing kits for your bug out bags or emergency bags or whatever. Or a camping repair kit. It gives you options. Now this side is the fun side. It's also the sharp side. These gigantic needles that you see here, including the one with the offset head on it, which I cannot get out at the moment because the camera's in the way and I can't see what I'm doing. That's for leather. These are all leather needles. Those are the much thicker ones. There are some more in here, which are straight. You can see some really gigantic needles in here, sewing needles. Most of these are also for leather and canvas and such. So they're different sizes, but those are all straight. And we have another bag in here as well. These are curved, or hooks, whatever you want to call them, to make it easier to go through some materials. Always keep some extra. And these are always really cheap, and you can get them just about anywhere. But those are the leather ones. The really thick ones are bent. I always keep them separate so I know what they are. So that's the fix. That's the fix side, or repair side too, whichever. You can modify with this as well. But the other side has got some more interesting stuff, in my opinion. This side. So this side has a couple more of the larger items that you don't find anywhere else. On the other side, because they're completely different. So let's take this off and take a look inside here. Alright, so we'll start in the top corner here. Sometimes these come out, but they're not bad. So we've got a couple of different sizes of small to medium safety pins. We all know safety pins are good for both medical uses and home uses and all sorts of things. You could even go fishing with them. And then on the other side is much larger ones. And when I say much larger ones, they are quite a bit larger. Really large ones. So that's what's on that side. Here, I'm going to be careful. These are pins. Sewing pins. They have a little ball head on top. Make it easy to put in and out of material. They're not super sharp, but I'd be careful. And there are, of course, multiple colors in there. This is a grommet. Forgot what size these are. I do have there should be a piece of paper in here somewhere that tells me what size they are. So one side of the grommet and the other side. So we got that for like really big. Say if you want to hold leather gloves, like how the wilderness firefighters do. They put a hole in the edge of the glove inside out, and put a grommet in it, and you can hold it off a carabiner then, or off the back of your tools, or the back of your bag. Nice way to hold them. Of course, this is the other side of that. And this is some braided elastic band. We all have had things that had elastic to them and they eventually failed. I keep a little extra elastic material in here if needed. I'll talk about what's going on in the center in a moment. This little OCD thing there. Sorry about that. These are the anvils for the grommets. I actually have them set up by size. Oops, those didn't belong in there. So it looks like a couple minutes way across, or I missed them when I put them in there. So this small anvil and die, this is the thing that cuts the hole in whatever you're working on. And this is the anvil and die. You put it together on your stuff in order to put grommets in. So these are the smaller ones. I believe these are 1/4 inch. And of course you have the washer on the other side. And apparently noticing it now, some of them are not staying where they're supposed to. So, alright, I may just have to come up with a solution for that. This is a larger die. This I believe is 1/2 inch. And it's probably 1/2 inch. Bigger die and anvil. And the washers for it as well. Now I don't do that much on it, so I have some instructions in the center here. In the center section, I have some Gear Aid repair tape. I actually made a video about this a few months ago. There's a couple in there. As a clear repair for some bags, tent material, things of that nature. Here's the instructions. The botch stitch, that's what these two are. This one over here is a separate brand, but it works the same way. And it tells you how to add grommets, because I'll forget once in a while. So I'd rather be prepared. This is a zipper, YKK zipper, only the best. This is a sports one, closed. So if I needed to add it to a pouch or a bag I'm working on, I have one available. These are actually relatively cheap. They come in various sizes. Yeah, this is number 580. This is actually like sports pants and things, but you can use them on all sorts of things, and it's still a YKK zipper, so good stuff. And of course, just in case it's ever needed, this is Survival-gyver brand. See, it's cheap, $1.99 in this case. It's cheaper than that when I bought it. This is just, if I can get it to focus, this is just a hook and loop sew-on fastener. So it's got both sides of the hook and loop, so I could add Velcro to anything I like. And that's it. That is my sewing / fix, repair, modify kit in all of its glory, and it's not perfect by any means. I should add some buttons in here, but I don't wear that much in button-down shirts, so it's rare that I need them. But I have a couple other kits similar to this, not for sewing, but other things, and I'll show you those in the future. But I figured I'll start with this and see how, if any, how it goes. I know some people, preppers, aren't going to be a big fan of this because it's not sharp like a knife. It's not a gun. It's not ammo. It's not traps. It's not food. If you're sheltering in place, you're eventually going to have to fix your own gear, whether it's going to be your bag, your tenting equipment, your tarps, whatever. Especially if you're a camper or you're bugging out and maybe you had to do some salvaging somewhere and you tore your pants and you only have one set of pants, or you need to make shorts that don't shred something. This kit will help you with that. Again, this is not an end-all be-all kit. This is just what I've so far had to use. This is my fix or repair or modify kit. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Please like and subscribe. There'll be more stuff like this coming out soon. And yeah, I think that's it. You can always email me if you have any questions. Comments are always good. Critiques are good. And that's it. Thank you for watching. As a heads up, in the description will be some of the items that are in here. I'll put the link that I can find for the plano box and some of the stuff inside, or at least a generic lookup for Amazon for those that are interested, and zoology. And that's it. Thank you for watching and have a glorious day.